left that night to go to I think he was going to South America for some performances. So, you know, that was pretty crazy. So I'm inviting in Sandro, um, to join us for conversation, and hopefully Sandro will be able to come in and be part of this commemoration of Tim Bergling. You guys know him as Avicii. Um, and when I was emailing with him in the beginning, I never knew if I should address him as Avicii or address him as Tim, because I come from the hip hop uh, genre, and when we change our name, like my legal name is Nathaniel, but I go by Aloe, and so that's the name that I go by. And if you call me Nathaniel, then you're probably like a friend from elementary school or a family member who doesn't necessarily subscribe to my hip hop name. But you know, when I changed my name to Aloe, that was the name that I decided would represent me for time to come. So Sandro, if you're here, come on in. You're invited to come up to the stage, and oh, okay, it clicked off somehow. But yeah. Oh yeah, it's declining. We'll try it again. Oh, there.
Man, wow, this was really yellow. The light was really not was what I was expecting, but hey, I'm at a country house. What do you do, you know? Ah, I heard.
Okay, you just logged in. Okay, well, I'm glad to have you. I was watching
Such a
the.
fantastic.
It is a fantastic song. I was watching the tribute concert yesterday, and just
Oh,
watching you perform, and seeing your vibe and the energy. And there's just so much love in the music and the songs that you present.
well, likewise, my friend. I think that was such a special event. Like I can't believe we got to do that before this whole pandemic happened. Like I think we were really blessed that we got to do that tribute before, you know, things started to
I think so
spiral.
too. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we did it. Then that was the right time for sure.
Yeah.
And and it was certainly I think what Tim would have wanted to do concert on a regular basis,
Yeah.
not just one time. You know.
No, 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 no.
So hopefully we get to do it again. You know, as an ongoing thing. It could turn into a festival. I believe Tim's
Yeah.
music is so loved, and there's so many collaborators in this space that you know. Well, I started this conversation off sharing with all these fans that are watching some of the unreleased music that I've done with Tim. And
Oh, wow.
how many songs do you have that
Oh, wow.
didn't come out?
Oh, it's too many. Like I think it's at least five, six.
That's a whole
Um,
EP. That's half of an album.
yeah, I know, I know. I mean, if you you know, if you would start digging into his computer, and I'm sure like there's so many like half-finished songs, things that he would go back to. You know, his process was so different from like everyone else I've ever worked with. You know, I remember when we did some of those. Like you know, we just wrote like we wrote verse and a chorus, and then he needed a drop, and he had like a folder of just drag and drop, you know, those drag and drop, well, drops. So he would just like, he would just find the right key and it would fit perfectly. And I was just like, this is the best song out there. And we never released some of those. You know what I mean? Like it was on this such a high level, blew my mind constantly working with him.
To think that you have that many songs and you know at what level he was creating that didn't make it out. Did any of them leak?
He actually played a bunch of them at the last Ultra Festival. After that you know, the bus tour thing that we did, Tim's crazy idea. I mean, at the end of that trip, he played like a lot of those songs. Although I'm like pitched up on some tracks, like I sound like a chipmunk, because he would just like he would
He was
just
mixing them
go.
in.
Yeah, it would just be like he would just feel it and he would just like change the key and like not really take in like regard like how I sounded, like I sounded shit. And I just had to put my ego on the shelf and I was just like, dude, this song is fantastic. So the song comes first, but I sound horrible. So some of them are like I'm not recognizable at all. But many of those actually got out that way, you know, like they leaked or like they were performed, so they were out online for people.
Right. So for those of you who are eager to hear those unreleased songs, you can find them online. But just keep in mind, they're not Sandro's exact voice because they might be pitched up.
Thanks for telling people that. Yeah, but I mean, I love those songs so much, and Tim had such a special gift that I think it's really rare, even though working at like you know a fairly high level, I'd say, in the music industry. I think it's more clear now than ever what a gift he had. The way he could transform a song into something absolutely magnificent. It's so rare what
It's
Tim
really
could
rare.
do.
Well, just thinking, I don't know if you were writing to tracks or if you were writing outside of tracks. I know, of course, that trip you guys took, you were just writing, and sometimes tracks were made later. But he was able to take an organic song, just piano
Mm,
and voice or guitar and voice, and build an entire world around it. That's special, really special.
yeah.
Have
I
you
mean,
ever?
like between us, I have to say, like I think your song was probably the like it was stronger to begin with. Like you know, I mean, you know, I'm referring to "Wake Me Up." Like I think that song was like it's an unbelievable song from a songwriting perspective. Uh, and I think you went into that session with a lot of those, like you had that song more or less, right?
I had "Wake Me Up When It's All Over." Um, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time, I was finding myself, didn't know I was
So it's
lost.
kind of the chorus.
That's what I had. That's what I had.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And then,
You know what I mean? And then like the rest maybe was created in the room. But I think like Tim also gradually became more of a songwriter. Um,
mhm.
feels it's strange to talk about him in a past you know past tense, um, but I felt like when we started like when I started writing with him, I wrote the songs and then he came on and did his thing, you know, and then like the more we started like the more we kept on working, the more he excelled in being a songwriter as well. And I really feel that that was the cool thing working on those songs on on the bus tour, that it was all were organic from the start, and then you know he more or less he was a bigger part of those songs on the songwriting part, and I think like would he have kept you know kept on living, he would have excelled me as a songwriter as well. So I mean because you know how it is, like he was mainly a producer who got in, like he got so great at production. I think he was just like he was not like he was always pushing the envelope there, but like after a while I think if you're that great at something, you just get good at the other parts that you did not try before.
Yeah, so he was always striving to build a new part of the skill within music production
Yeah.
and creation. Um, when I worked with him, he wasn't playing on any instruments, and he was almost embarrassed to touch instruments, to touch
Mm-mm.
the keys or the guitar. But you
Mm-mm.
see in the documentary
Yeah,
that he was learning. And
yeah,
did you ever see him playing?
yeah. I actually did. You know, one of those crazy things. You know, like we in Sweden we have the Midsummer's Fest. Yeah. So he did a crazy thing where he rented a castle in Italy instead of being in Sweden. And there he had a grand piano in a wine cellar. And so I actually heard him play quite a bit there. Before that, I was also like he was more he wasn't too keen on I mean, I think it's also the same with me. Like, if I know there's a better guitar player in the room, I sit back. You know, I take, like, I know my place in some sessions. It's just like it's much nicer if, you know, a proper guitar player does that because something magnificent will come of it. But like, I can totally, I hear you, and I think he got really great at doing. I mean, that's also the same thing. Like, I think he gradually he picked up everything, and I think like he became great at everything he did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if you're interested. I want to pull in another friend to talk with us.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Carl Falk is here, and
Wow.
he's he's ready. So I'm gonna grab him and see if he'll come in.
Yeah, yeah, great.
Yeah. Um, did you ever tour with Tim, or was it always just, writing sessions?
I mean, I was supposed to have gone to Ibiza for the final show, but
Mm.
I actually broke my back.
Oh,
Uh,
terrible.
crazy experience. So I actually didn't get the chance. And at Ultra, we were kind of talking about like should I go on stage and sing some of those live? But it was I don't think the production was really ready for it, you know. So we were just like, let's just present them in the way that like with just the tracks and like with my vocal on it, but not live. So I actually never got the chance. Did you?
That's interesting. No, I didn't ever tour with him, but I did obviously, a live performance with him. Um,
Yeah, I
and
didn't even do that actually.
wow, he was just on the move so much from one place
Mm-mm-mm.
to the next, a different city every day. During the time that I was working with him. So let's see. I will try to get Carl in. It
Dude, I
was.
must say, I think you're a beast for like you're so great for doing this. Like you're all this the technology and everything. Like major kudos, man. Like
Well,
inviting people in and it's yeah,
um, I think Tim deserves it. Like once a year to say, hey, you changed my
100%.
life. So
Yeah, he did.
it's
He did.
definitely worth taking the time to do it. Um, but yeah, I can't seem to get Carl in here, and he might be having trouble. Um, but I wanted to ask you about your tribute song
Yeah,
to
okay.
Tim with Kygo. Did you reach out to Kygo?
So this is a crazy thing, like, cause Kira, like Kaigo, you know, exactly the same thing. I heard you were saying that, like, talking about Tim as well, like going under like a different name. Like, I have to say Kira because that's Kaigo to me now, you know. So he actually reached out to me and said that he loved the songs that that I did together with Tim. So there, Tim is the common denominator still. So and then he started saying like he was really sad because it was his biggest influence and growing up in Norway, Tim was his absolutely like he was such a huge Avicii fan. Like he has shown me pictures now, since we started working, of him being like 18, going to a Tim concert, standing like first row and just screaming, him and his friends. So he reached out and because he was really sad about like Tim passing. And I don't know, like we started talking about doing something together for Tim, and it came from a very genuine place of us wanting to do something. I don't know, just to honor his memory, and because both him and me were really sad. Like even though we didn't know each other, we struck up a conversation, and that was just because we were both really sad, I guess, and just that's like it became the like a logical thing, and we started talking about it, and then that was like 2 years ago, I guess, and then we wrote a bunch of other songs and worked on that. So it actually started with those like with Forever Yours being like the core, and then we just really got along, and then we wrote two more songs, and then those came out before, and then we just kept on like finding, we needed to find a space for that and to release it in a nice, in a proper way. So it's a kind of crazy way that actually saw the light of day.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, though. I feel like there's so much inspiration that has come from the music that Tim made, inspiring entire careers like Kygo, and
Yeah,
then you know, in his passing, being able to use use that process of mourning as inspiration. I think
yeah,
it's only right.
yeah, and like it's a like it's a tough thing to like decide whether you want to how to go about a tribute release.
Mm.
But that's why it felt great because there is literally no bigger like Avicii fan than Kygo. Like he has the whole thing. He has the Avicii tattoo, and like he got it right after Tim passed, or even before. I don't even know. But it was just like I was just like, this guy is like Tim was such a huge influence to him, and then to see what like Kira did on his own, like but get like starting point is the power that was like, as you said, like the power of Tim's music, and then how that could affect an entire career that is on a similar level, like what he has achieved after, but it came from the inspiration that was Tim, because Tim was he was such a force of nature.
Definitely a force of nature. Just brilliant, really. And you, I love the fact that with the inspiration that Tim gave Kygo, he even took it a different direction and built his own
Yeah.
sound and style. That's important. Like to be able to be inspired, but not be a complete total reflection of, you know, you be transformative in something new. That's just
I
awesome.
agree. I agree, and I remember um, when Tim, in the documentary, everyone can see like those when Tim was copying productions and everything, and that's a great start point. Like I think, I don't know who you copied, but I copied Freddie
A
Mercury
lot
for a
of
while.
folks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is when you're not on that level, you just you get so inspired and you try to sound like whoever is
The
your idol
hero,
for the year.
of course.
Yeah, the hero.
Of course.
And Tim was a hero. Like he was a hero to
So
Kieran
many.
and there's so many more. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's it's unbelievable what he's achieved, and like what he did achieve, and what he continues to like do to people, even him not being here. And that's why it's so strange that it's like we're talking about someone who's not alive, but he's very much alive to me, and he's like the same for you. I feel like it's just so weird. It's still like I could get a phone call tomorrow, and it's just like, hey, come to Earfile
Mm.
Studios and let's just record a song because Tim is in town. Because he was never in town either.
Mm.
He was in LA all the time, or he was just, as you're saying, he was constantly touring.
I mean, he had a house here in LA, and I barely saw him. So it was just
Yeah.
trading emails. Um, and so yeah, sometimes I look back at those emails and just think like, what a
Mm,
time, what a time.
mm.
Well, thank you, Sandro, for spending time, and I hope you enjoy the country house that you're at.
Thank
Some
you,
time in
man, and
nature.
thanks for making this. And I think like it's a great thing that this is becoming an annual, it's a tradition now, right?
I think
Twice.
so. I think it's important. I think we find one day out of the year, on April 20th,
Yeah.
just to remember Tim and give it to the fans at some point where they create something out of it. But you know this is special. It's a special person that we're honoring. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you. Good to
Thanks
talk
for
to you.
inviting me. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I know. Certainly wouldn't do it without you. Great to see you.
Likewise, my friend. Likewise.
Thank you.
How
Bye
do
bye.
I jump out? I don't even know these things
I don't
anymore.
really know either.
I'll figure it out.
So good to see you. Bye bye.
Same, same. Bye.
Oh man, what a wonderful human being. It's not working. So what I'll do is he's invited and he'll probably come in soon. But you know, I want to hear your questions. So there's a way that you can ask questions and I can pull up the questions and read them. I have a lot of questions here. What is my favorite song with Tim? For me, my favorite song with Tim, which I think I can post this up so you can see it. My favorite song with Tim is uh, is "Please Forgive Me." That never came out. So my favorite song with Tim is "Wake Me Up," just because it touched so many people. It touched so many lives, um, and I feel like it's a strong lyric and a strong sound. Um, but I really wish "Please Forgive Me" had come out because I feel like people need sometimes they need a song to be the words that they feel so that they can share that feeling with someone else. Next question. Can I perform SOS? I would like to, but I think Instagram would kick us off. I tried it earlier, just before you guys got on, and Instagram kicked me off saying I was playing someone else's music. That's why earlier I played all the unreleased music because it's not in the computer system. They don't know. They don't know that it's a music that we've already made. How did Tim make catchy melodies and amazing lyrics? So SOS was one of the songs that came to me after Tim had passed, and he wrote that song with Christoph and with Bon and Albin, and I think he had sense. He was as Sandro was saying. Sandro was saying that Tim was studying everything about music, all the different styles, and really trying to improve himself as a musician on all levels. So he started writing lyrics, and unfortunately, he wasn't around to be there when I recorded SOS, but it was a song that he was involved in writing those lyrics, and he's just good at recognizing melody and and what catchy. Um, you know, he listened to a lot of different music, so he knew. Um, let's see. I'll try Carl one more time. Let's see, Carl. Hopefully this works. Hopefully we get you in. Another question. Um, when did you start working with him, and do you wish there were more songs you could have done with him? I definitely wish there were more songs I could have done with him. I started working with him in 2012, December, December 2012, November, something like that. Um, and then in January of 2013, we wrote "Wake Me Up," and then uh, not long after that, we did Ultra Music Fest in Miami and shared that song live. So, um, how did you? Was that probably for Sandro? Um, let's see. I am going to invite in a friend of mine who I met recently, a brilliant artist, a visual artist who is who worked on a piece inspired by the song "Wake Me Up." Um, when I saw his artwork, I was really I was impressed by the stream of consciousness flow of how he worked. I was impressed by the the skill in his hand and being able to just create, art quickly and almost effortlessly, it seemed. But I'm hoping that the system will work to allow him to come in. So if you look at the pinned comment, there's the timberglingfoundation.org, and you can donate at that link. So type that link into your URL if you feel like making a donation and sharing your heart with more, with spreading awareness about mental health issues. Um, this is something that is going to be the lasting legacy of the Tim Bergling Foundation, is to help people who struggle with mental health, and to destigmatize mental health, to let everybody know we're all on a different part of the spectrum, of feeling great and feeling not so great. So we have to be aware of everybody's um, place in that spectrum, and be compassionate. Um, it looks like none of these are working. Adding people into the chat is not working today. So um, I might have to I might have to restart the session in order to bring people in. Um, so if you guys just bear with me, I'll click off and log right back on. Don't go away because there's so much